Okay, right, we were working on this because there's something wrong about the snapping on this specific segment. And nevermore. Okay, problem mostly solved. We've still got a luxury corner that I need to get in here. Room-wise. Okay. I just realized I was too quiet. Yeah, still. But, nah, I don't know. What did he do? He made friends with, like, one guy, specifically... So, I think it's Luxury 4. I guess this one's not so bad. He made friends with one guy... Oh, God. It's Luxury 2, isn't it? Made friends with one guy. I think they were both in the same year. The one guy was a little bit younger. But, yeah, it is these dumb corner things. They make snapping strange and wrong. So that's how we ran into the issue on the other side. It's because these corner brackets have bad snapping. Good to know. Trying to see if it's bad snapping here too. No, it looks like these are flush. Okay, that's good to know. So he made friends with this guy, and I mean, honestly, nothing wrong with that. Obviously, you make friends with whomever you want. But so the problem was he made friends with this guy who was more or less, I'm not going to say a borderline alcoholic, but the guy definitely had like depression issues and a couple other things, and more or less supplied the guy with alcohol, like lots of it. And that's not great. And more or less fueled the guy's like growing alcoholism, and they all thought it was funny because he was like this super kind of prudish, forever alone. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever saw Recess School's Out, but if you did, do you remember the fat guy that could sing really well only in the shower or something like that? Like that was his gimmick. I mean, obviously he was a more dimensional character than that, but still, like that was how they introduced him as being like this cool character. And so I think that kind of person, and you know, pretty nice guy, honestly. And they, like, he spent years. Oh, right, I'm in TCL, so of course we can't snap parts in here. But yeah, so like he had never drank before, and I actually came across a video. We had like a private video sharing service and stuff. I actually came across a video of his very first drink, and everybody's sitting there encouraging him. And I mean, like, honestly, it's college. You're gonna run into that stuff no matter what. But it was still pretty weird, from my perspective, because it was definitely like, you know, it was definitely the kind of like egging on that was unhealthy. You know, you take the kid that, you know, has no experience with this sort of thing, and you only teach him the worst habits. And so, like, ultimately the guy definitely did not, pick up healthy habits when it came to drinking, and, like, it was still plaguing him for a while. And so combo that with, you know, natural depression, and oof, he was definitely a train wreck a lot of the time, and that was not a good formula. He was a train wreck the further on he got in college too. And like most of the time he was okay. He was really cool freshman and sophomore year, especially when like he ended up taking over the frat, which was actually kind of a cool thing. You know, the goofy forever alone nerd was actually in control for once. I don't know, it didn't really matter. But it was just neat. Because he was a really nice guy, and I liked him a lot. He ended up actually dating one of my coworkers for a while. She was nice too. She had been dating my roommate for a while, and my roommate decided to go off the walls. People are weird and dumb. Do we want to just put a doorway here? Yeah, you know what? Let's put a doorway here. Let's take out the clinic window. Let's take out that. Let's go back to rooms. Let's go back to clinic. Clinic. Here we go. Clinic wall doorway. Perfect. Maybe less perfect. There we go. Yeah, we'll just have a nice little veranda that people can like walk out onto if they want to. And maybe I'll still put the flowers on the outside just because. Okay, did I... Oh, it's one of the, like, ceiling things. But, I'm gonna say the emotion vampire guy thought it was hilarious and, like, fed this for a long time. And definitely, like, kind of used it to his advantage. And that was... I don't know, it was just rough to watch. Because I only showed up for, like, the end of it all. Because, of course, I was a freshman. These guys have been known each other for years. So, of course, you know, I had nothing to do with it. Honestly, like... Oops. Yeah. Well, the nice part is we know nobody's going to be able to commit suicide off this railing. You literally can't fall off. Fun fact. Okay. Well, it doesn't even matter. But... I'm just kind of in this, like... thinking about going to college and all of the assholes you run into. You also really need to watch, every once in a while, you might have a friend or an acquaintance or somebody that, like, very quickly, like, seems like like he's doing fine, but is, like, slowly doing worse and worse. You always kind of have to watch out for that. There are occasionally people that, there are occasionally people that you'll run into that just kind of, like, go off the deep end and they don't come back. That's never pleasant. I had one friend that he had a girlfriend for, like, the first 2 years of college. He had a girlfriend, but, like, she wasn't around. She was, like, in Connecticut or something. And so, you know, he missed her, obviously. And that's cool, whatever. But so he kind of missed her in the worst way. Like, it didn't sound like they had the healthiest of relationships and a number of other things. I'm gonna put this here. Honestly, we might want to... Oh, yeah, we want to start this from the other side. But, like, he missed her in the worst way to the point where, like... You know, he was definitely super toxic if anything went wrong. Like, you don't want to be around people that, Okay, hold on. We need to put, like, a bridge across here or something. Just because I'm not going to be able to work normally. There we go. Because otherwise, we're just going to have to keep turning off TCL and turning it back on again. Neither are great. But yeah, so, like, he loved this girl in the worst way possible. And, like, if they had a fight, you just wanted to be away from it. And then eventually they broke up. And, like, he was also kind of this, like, chubby dude. And I think that it was always kind of a sore spot for him, because his girlfriend was definitely a fit woman. Like, she did, oh, crap, what's the flag thing that people do that's really cool? I don't remember the name of it. But she did that, and she was very much in shape, and he was very much not. Okay, we need to continue the bridge here. And so, like, eventually she dumped him, and he just crashed. And I think one of the things I never learned was when to cut off a friend and, like, not give into that stuff anymore, and, like, just know when to extricate yourself. Because he was definitely one of my, like, better friends. Oh, crap. He was definitely one of my better friends. It's like if Keith went insane. It'd probably take me a little while longer to notice than other people, which is bad. And I think I'm better about it, but I don't even know. There is a hole here that I screwed up. Why is snapping like Satan? I don't know. Okay, I think we're good now. I think we're all snapped up. We got the window. We got everything. Looks nice. We're good. Yeah, yay, depressing thoughts before sleep. I'm just thinking about college. I'm trying to be like sage with this stuff, but realistically, I'm just like recounting sad tales from college and stuff. There's a lot of There's a lot of fun shit that happens though. Like, college is really cool. You get a lot of opportunities to, like, learn stuff and do stuff that you'd never do before. Like, don't spend all your time doing homework, but boy, like, do your homework, but live a little, but not too much. Definitely met Shell, and she was okay. I met Shell, and she was friends with her roommates, but her roommate wasn't exactly her friend. as much. Like, they're still acquaintances. They still do stuff together. Nothing wrong with that. But it was very obvious that she was kind of the last one on the list. And obviously I had a lot of fun with her. For a second I thought she was like coming down and was like, what? But she didn't get out much. She spent a lot of her time, you know, hanging out in her room, working on stuff, drawing, painting, watching things, playing N64, you know, that kind of things. Innocent, like, freshman year college stuff. And then by sophomore year, she had this, like, apartment-y thing. Problem is, the stuff like those apartments, you don't meet people. You don't, like, get out. The best time to meet people is your freshman year, and if you don't, like, go out at all, you end up going through college with, like, nobody. I got kicked off my frat, and suddenly I had, like, very few people to hang out with. And admittedly, at that point, I was a senior in college, so it didn't matter so much. But, like, suddenly my entire friend group disappeared, and it was like, oof. So, generally, it's worthwhile to, like, get friends outside your major, especially if you end up switching. There's a lot of people that switch majors along the way in college. And it's easiest if you kind of plan ahead for that sort of thing. There's nothing quite like, you know, having to switch majors or having, like, your only friend switch majors. Like, I know Shell had a really close friend who transferred to one of those, like, I'm not going to call it a degree mill, but it was one of those, like, very, very heavily advertised, like, game design schools where it's, like, kind of like ITT Technical Institute, but not. And I'm being coy here mainly because I don't honestly remember what it was called. So she went to one of those, and suddenly Shell has me. Because our other friend is, like, our other common friend was a, oh, shoot. I was nowhere even close to the ceiling. Our other common friend ran out of money and couldn't stay in college either. So it was just kind of the two of us. And then she was in an apartment with a bunch of people she didn't know. She did end up making friends with one of them. But, you know, kind of like apartment friends as opposed to, like, actually close friends and stuff like that. That still isn't positioned well. Oh, it's annoying. How did I get it kicked off the frat? Let's just say computer scientists and computer engineers and stuff can be kind of dickish to people that aren't. I don't know if you guys ever hear about... what is it? What's the phrase for people that are in, like, computer science and engineering and stuff? I don't remember. Anyway, every once in a while I'll be, like, reading Reddit or something like that. And it'll just be, you know, somebody from a technical background kind of shitting on other people for their bad choices. It's very commonly, like, you know, people making fun of people for having, like, a gender studies degree or something. And, like, to be fair, gender studies is a little goofy, for me, I think. You know, I would have some trouble with being employable. But, like, these, a lot of these, oh, STEM, S-T-E-M. But so these people were very elitist about being STEM. And they generally didn't like it if you were not STEM. And they would kind of give you shit for it. And it wasn't like, you know, just like, oh, haha, you're an art major. They would, like, legitimately dislike you. And that was just kind of it. And there wasn't really a whole lot of, like, convincing these people to not be an asshole. And I made the mistake of not, like, trying to get on their good side. I just kind of let them do their thing, just hoping they'd avoid me. Turns out, bullies don't stop being bullies. In post-high school, they just, find other, more horrible ways to fuck with you. So in the end, it was a bunch of like STEM people that some of whom I actually thought were my friends, but they all kind of banded together under like one guy's kind of direction and kicked off everybody that kind of didn't belong. And it was kind of a culling. So like anybody that was kind of more of the like social hangout type definitely got shut down to some degree. But I got kicked out because this guy specifically, we had to do a project every year. Kind of like, if you know, like Eagle Scouts have to do a project. Kind of like that. Oh, there's a difference between these lights. Did not know that. So you had to do a project. One project every year. And, you know, it just had to be something cool. And I made a game. With the heavy use of a tutorial, because I didn't know how to make a game. I never programmed anything before, at least nothing advanced. And you know, I said, hey, I used this tutorial. You can check it out if you want to. And they're like, nah, it's fine. Seems like you did a lot of work on it. And then a couple months later, they're like, by the way, he followed this tutorial and that's not okay. And they're all like, oh, he used a tutorial. That's not okay. And then they gave me the boot. Because they could. And then I was kicked out of the frat. And I was pretty much on my own for next year. Want this game? Where download? Oh, I deleted the shit out of it. It was awful. It wasn't fun at all. We probably want to move this over one. But yeah, no, I don't know. It was like kind of just this bad asinine thing. And the problem is like I was friends with a number of these people once upon the time, but like the one toxic friend whose like girlfriend dumped him and then he got like super sad and like super bitter. He was definitely one of the biggest ringleaders to get me kicked out because he got dumped just as I started dating Shell, and he didn't take that well at all. He was the kind of person that resented other people for being happy. He like cut off most of his friends, really. And just, you know, just petty shit like that. It was awful. But yeah, that's how I got kicked off a frat. And honestly, it was probably for the best. A lot of those people were not nice. Wow, this place is really, really nicely lit now. Probably a little bit better over there than others. I should maybe rethink about my lighting, but I think it's okay. Once I start blocking stuff off, I think it'll be okay too. We'll have to see how that works. This is a serious work in progress, but it's okay. Yeah, maybe I need like one light over here. We'll try ultra brightness. Bright as we can go. All the way up here. Right from this section. I had bad friends. Oh, absolutely. I've never actually had good friends. Well, no, I have. I would consider my YouTube friends to actually be particularly great friends. Hell, like, even the friends that I don't interact with much are great friends. Like, I don't know, anywhere from I'd had an absolute blast with Gull of Doom to Batbeard, Gnomes, Purple, Stainless. Stainless especially. He's always been, like, really good to me. And I gotta give credit where credit is due. That guy is nice. And it's been, I don't know, it's weird. Everybody always complains about, like, hitting adulthood and then, you know, not having a whole lot of friends anymore and, you know, having trouble meeting people. That's why I started YouTube, actually, originally, so I could have friends to play games with, because that's what all the YouTubers seem to be doing. Worked out freaking fantastically. That was my study abroad. I think I remember saying, Shell saying we did that. Yep. We were in Croatia for 3 months. It was amazing. If you guys ever get the chance to do study abroad, I highly encourage you to do it. Because holy shit, it was fun. It was really good for me. I specifically for Croatia, I was walking all over the place all the time. I was eating really healthy. Because I had to cook for myself and stuff. So I think I got down to like 165 pounds or something like that. I'm back up to 195. I'm not proud of that. Like, it was really good for me. I spent all of my time walking around and stuff. And it was really nice. It was also, like, probably some of the best weather I've ever been in. Except for the, like, extremely torrential rains that got everybody super sick with water poisoning. Because they don't filter their water particularly well. Or mainly the reservoirs right next to the landfill. So everybody got poisoning from drinking tap water. Oh, that was a shit show. I was the only one that didn't because I drank milk. But like, I'm saying this kind of like doom and gloomy, but beyond like the couple of issues we ran into, it was awesome. You know, gorgeous country, a lot of culture to soak in. We ended up going to like Budapest, which was really fun. Though honestly, I would say I don't know if we have any native Budapestians. I don't even know. Oh whoa, wow. Two in between. Okay, I'll just fit another one here. Any native from like that area. I loved Budapest, but yeah, why are some of these white? Oh, fluorescent wall light plus. Fuck. Damn it. That's why some of these are nicer than others. Well, that's annoying. So, the reason why we've got these, like, weird greenish lights is these are fluorescent ceiling lights, whereas we've got fluorescent wall lights. What? No. Fluorescent ceiling light plus. I'm so confused. These are the same thing, right? Why is one of them bigger? And white. I am very confused. What? Huh. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. This game is confusing. These lights are weird. I don't think these lights are even hooked up. It says it is, but it doesn't look like it is. Well, I'll just ignore it. I am getting super tired. Oh. And now, of course, the tree is no longer lit well, particularly well. Okay, hold Q and E, and then move the thing you're placing. That's... what? Oh, what the fuck? I don't want to do this. This is weird and very uncomfortable. Let's not do that. That's interesting, though. I like that. But I just don't know if I have much of a use for it. So I'm not gonna bother. Okay, one last thing to light. I'll probably just do these lights. They feel weirdly appropriate for this. Or maybe that's just because this tunnel is ugly as sin. Oh yeah, that's much brighter. Maybe a little bit over though. There we go. I'll do another one. I probably should have been just doing the fluorescent ceiling light pluses the entire time. Didn't really get much of a chance. I wonder, there's no like big gate for this. I guess I could put an end cap at the door. I kind of like this like weird industrial tunnel at the very end. Feels appropriate somehow. I'm tempted to actually put it at the other end of one of these. I don't know. On the topic of friends, isn't Bird a good friend? Yeah, Bird is the best friend I've ever had. Except for Shell. I don't know, it's kind of hard to compete with her. But that's kind of like a different ballpark. There's a difference between best friend, guy friend, and woman you are going to marry. In terms of, you know, friendship and stuff. It's pretty night and day. Ish. I don't want to get into the differences between that one. And it's not a competition. Every once in a while, Shell will be like, Shell will get sad at me if I say that Bird's my best friend because, you know, she of course has that that title more or less, and it's just like there's differences. Please don't hate me for this. The semantics are hurting. Also, this is really cool. Oh, we can tube down our way down here. Assuming we can. Okay. Let's go back to this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this area. I feel like this curve was perfectly designed. Oh my god. I don't want to. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't. Oh, ow. Oh, ow. Oh. Let us never step outside. What the fuck is this? Why does it do that thing? Why is this a thing? Does it do... Oh, fuck. Fuck this. What the hell? Why is that a horrible drug trip brain melt thing? I don't want to do it. Woman, what? Get out of the floor. I can't. Oh, right. I'm not even in the workshop. I'm going to have to figure out how the hell I'm going to do that. Okay, seriously, what crop are you dealing with here? What insane... Oh, there's a melon here. Huh. Guess I'm glad I caught that, otherwise she was just going to be there mushing into the floor forever. Let's see. I guess let's just scrap that. We don't need the power cycle. Okay, well, the floor melon's out. And I just burnt my eyes out. That was not comfortable. I did not like that. I did not like that one bit.